Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show, as you see right here, the CCO or COO Triple H. He comes on SmackDown tonight to make another address. What would it be that he did on Raw this past week? What the game have in store for SmackDown tonight? We'll get to that. It might be something big and different, important that the game has in store. Also, too, the ongoing situation as new tag team champion, Sami Zayn, goes against the man he's trying to convince to say that the bloodline is not doing him right, Jay Uso. Jay is still with the bloodline and he's torn in between the two. Sami Zayn goes one-on-one against Jay after their historic WrestleMania match coming off the heels of the main event of night one of WrestleMania, as well as Rey Mysterio teams up with Santos Escobar as they form. Thank God they formed something that makes a little bit more sense. Not a lot of phantasma, but the LWO, the Latino World Order, they take on the Judgment Day. Ray coming off the heels of WrestleMania, defeating his son Dominic in a highly personal battle, father versus son matchup. Dominic teams up with Damian Priest to take on Santos Escobar and Rey Mysterio. We'll get to this and all this more. Highlights and recaps of the Pro Wrestling Show presents the SmackDown Report, and it starts right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show presents the SmackDown Ring Report. I'm your host, as always, Kendra Diggs. Thank you for joining us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing. All right, as you see right here, newly crowned WWE Undisputed Tag Team Champions, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, coming off the heels of their WrestleMania moment, winning the Tag Team Championships from the Usos. The Usos were the longest reigning Tag Team Champions, and many people thought that it was going to be the beginning of the end of the bloodline. Well, we know over Cody Rhodes, that was a misjustice of itself, and we talked about it this past week in the archives. And you go back to the SmackDown, the Raw Ring Report this week. We'll have all of that if you go to the archives on the Raw Ring Report. And I'll tell you this, what a show it was. I mean, as you see right here, the Tag Team Champions, Conquering Heroes, told you return as the Undisputed Tag Team Champions, undisputed indeed, as well as newly crowned SmackDown Women's Champion Rhea Ripley makes her appearance to claim her throne. Rhea Ripley winning the SmackDown Women's Championship from Charlotte Flair this past Sunday at WrestleMania. This past Saturday, I meant to say. A lot of people thought that Rhea was going to, I guess, what you say, pass the torch or something? Something like that. Well, Rhea Ripley takes her throne and takes her place as well. As well as we told you that instant classic match. I mean, Gunther, the Intercontinental Champion, Sheamus, they had that instant classic match at Clash of the Castle. Well, with Drew McIntyre, hails to comparison of this magnitude that we're getting. We're getting more. We're getting more, indeed, more than ever before. As we saw. As we saw right there. Sheamus, Gunther and stuff. So we'll talk about that as well. Gunther teams up with his Imperium crew to take on the team of Gunther. Well, what's his name? That Imperium. Sheamus teams up with his crew, the Brawling Brutes, to take on Imperium. We told you the main event was going to be this. Jay Uso goes against Sami Zayn 1-on-1 in the main event, as well as Triple H returns. Triple H, the game, he makes an appearance to address the WWE Universe. We told you that huge tag team matchup between LWO and the Judgment Day. All right, we told you we're gonna kick things off with this. The game, Triple H. Triple H made a rare appearance tonight. The gang, Triple H doing that same rah-rah speech that he did on Raw this past week. But he added a caveat to that match. Well, Triple H announced that there will be a WWE draft in the coming weeks. And Triple H says there's gonna be a draft. Better believe it. Triple H gonna be kind of doing Stephanie role now. Kind of like he's gonna be drafting stars left and right. Only time will tell. But Triple H giving that rah-rah speech, saying there will be a draft, there will be a new Raw, there will be a new SmackDown. I mean, Triple H making it seem like, hey, don't just bet on SmackDown Raw. We're trying our best. Triple H, he's in the pack of what he's going to do coming forward and stuff. Saying how this draft is going to inherently change the WWE going forward. Triple H making that claim tonight that the draft will go on as planned. So we'll see a draft coming soon, coming shortly. That Triple H said that what's going to happen. We'll see it coming your way soon. Also, too, Triple H got interrupted by the judge by the Judgment Day. Rhea Ripley and Rhea Ripley, the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Dominic Mysterio losing at WrestleMania. And Finn Balor losing to Edge and stuff. So we kind of got a pretty good idea of what's going to go down, what's going to happen. Triple H making that claim. Triple H making that stuff, how things going to be going eventually, how everything is going to be World Wrestling Entertainment. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, it look like Rhea Ripley's the leader of Judgment Day. If she got a championship, but Judgment Day claim they're equals and stuff. So, um, we'll see how it's gonna go. Even Lawford Chapman. Um, even Ray and Dominic telling their personal issues as well. Uh, you can tell right there.
A lot going on with that. But you see right there. What the hell is that? Dang it. Oh, well, Ripley look like Ray. The Judgment Day won due to the help of Damian Priest getting the win over Santos Escobar. I think Santos didn't know um that Damian Priest's finisher. It didn't get the 1, 2, 3. So hey, Damian Priest. Also, Damian Priest made a comment about Bad Bunny saying he didn't want to do what he had to do. So I'm assuming at Backlash, we're gonna see Bad Bunny and Ray Bad Bunny team up with Rey Mysterio to take on Dominic and Damian Priest. I think this is gonna be really a tag. I think this is gonna really be the main event of Backlash. That tag team match. You got Dominic who got a grudge against his father Ray and Bad Bunny. And you know, Dominic and Ray were close and tight. Then Bad Bunny was close and tight with Damien, and now Damien and Dominic now team together, and they're more of a group and stuff. So hey, so hey, is what it is on that. So how that be going forward and stuff. Also, too, Liv Morgan and the vivacious Raquel Rodriguez, they was in tag team action and they did an exhibition. They won their match over the team of I forgot who they teamed against. I forgot who they teamed up against. I think Italian or something like. I'm assuming, but they won their match, so they're getting ready for their women's tag team championship match on Raw this Monday. So Lita and Becky Lynch taking on Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. I'm surprised it ain't on SmackDown. Why they ain't working? Why they ain't working against them on SmackDown? They can move around. They make it seem like the tag team title was just that. They just a case away title when you ask me, but hey, it is what it is. Even this, Paul Heyman even addressed the situation that Jay needs to fix the problem with Sami. That is a Sami Zayn problem Jay gonna have to deal with. Or Paul said that Solo will deal with it if come need be. Solo can get the job done. One thing about Paul Heyman been around those Samoans since the late 80s. I know for a fact since WCW. Paul Heyman ain't playing. Those Samoans ain't playing neither. And they know when they ain't playing the games, strength and numbers. Also, too, Jay confronted Sami, and I think Sami is still trying to get to Jay, but Jay is the one that really ain't trying to hear it and stuff. I think Jay is slowly trying to get there, but Sami is still trying to convince, like he can still convince him. But when you got Paul Heyman in your ear and you got Roman Reigns in the back of your neck, I think you gotta pay attention and listen. There's a lot on their plate. I think Sami is trying to reach out to Jay, but um, Jay's not hearing it right now. It takes time, so we have to wait and see how that's going to factor and how that's going to play out eventually. Also, too, the human highlight reel, Ricochet was in action. Ricochet coming up the heels of losing with Braun in that WrestleMania showcase. Ricochet getting a win. Ricochet keeps his name up there and going. So hey, with Ricochet, what's going to happen down the road, we'll have to wait and see. Speaking of that, we hearing that Shinsuke Nakamura will return to SmackDown next week. Shinsuke Nakamura returning to SmackDown. Who Shinsuke is going to face? Only time will tell. Shinsuke Nakamura coming back to the Blue Brand to wrestle. Well, we had got word right here. Kevin Owens got attacked from out of nowhere. His knee gave out. Kevin Owens was having a discussion with this tag team partner earlier. All of a sudden, it just went left. Said Jay was witnessing to it. Jay kind of stood there as he saw Kevin Owens got attacked from behind. So only questions lead to more going on. What's going to happen? Like I said, Jay was there to watch from the front scenes, and Jay really didn't do nothing. But you can tell Kevin Owens springing that leg. So hey, it is what it is. But Sami will have his match later on in the main event against Jay coming up a little bit later in the show. So you got to wonder how that's going to play out eventually between them and how the tag team champion is dealing with this situation as well. Speaking of that, LA Knight had a conversation. LA Knight or a conversation. I don't know how that came about, but LA Knight will go 1-on-1 against Xavier Woods next week on SmackDown. Let's just hope Xavier Woods and LA Knight tear down the house, and that'll happen next week on SmackDown. So we'll see that next week on SmackDown. Speaking of that, like I said, Dominic Mysterio kind of knows he's gaining a mustache, I think, and I think Dominic want to look like Eddie Guerrero badly, super badly. So Dominic wants to be his idol, Eddie. So hey, more power to Dominic. Speaking of that, was the main event. This was the main event. Sami Zayn taking on Jey Uso 1-on-1. Sami Zayn going against Jey Uso. These two men had that battle at WrestleMania. What an instant classic was. It was that, an instant classic. Tell me right there. These two men were once kind of brothers, if you consider. When Sami joined the bloodline, Jay didn't trust him at first, and then Jay started to grow and like him. And now things just went left and center. And we told you about the tag team situation and stuff. So it was just that. It was just that. Jay and Sami had that match until Solo came and interrupted and got disqualified. Thus, trying to attack Jay, told Solo not to do it. Solo was about to hit the spike on Sami until Jay and Solo attacked Sami and left Sami dead. But they did. Sami Zayn was just left for dead again. But you want this who came out there and saved him. The returning Matt Riddle returning from Raw. I mean, they got to figure out what show this man gonna be on, because he can't be on both shows like that. But Riddle's back on Raw, and now he's on SmackDown. I guess Hyperstance saying and stuff. So we just have to wait and see on that. But Riddle coming back on SmackDown, making an impact like he normally do. Riddle's back in this front tech, helping saving Kevin on Sami Zayn. I don't know what they're gonna go. Just Riddle trying to get revenge on Solo, as what Solo had did to Riddle. But Riddle will have his first matchup this Monday on Raw against The Miz. They won't make Riddle look strong over The Miz. I'm telling you that right now. So Matt Riddle back on SmackDown. Matt Riddle closes SmackDown like he did. All right. All right. That is the SmackDown ring report. We move forward to wrestling hot topics. On wrestling hot topics, WWE apologized for this concentration camp that was seen on the WrestleMania kickoff. I don't know why they even showed that. Someone caught that, some viewer, and complained to WWE, and WWE apologized. I guess a concentration camp. Ooh, I don't know why they did that, but hey, it is what it is. Okay. Speaking of that, this is the first photo of Carmelo Hayes as the NXT champion. He looks more like taking a picture like a Prince or something like that, like taking like a Notorious B.I.G. pose, but he's not big. He's not that big. He's a little bit smaller. Carmelo Hayes, now the new NXT champion, he's more going forward as a babyface after what Braun Breaker did to him this past week. Gets bitter and angry and disappointed that he's no longer the NXT champion. So we move forward from that. Plus, too, a lot of people are starting this Fire Vince chant. We heard that on WrestleMania night 2 when they thought Vince McMahon did the show. So her, no fans ain't playing for her. You know they be, but they don't play on that. We'll see. Earlier than too, big up to the tag team champions Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and then Bianca Belair. They flying from Los Angeles to New York, then flying from New York back to Los Angeles. And big ups to them appearing on the Day Show. So hey, more power to on that. As well as Charlotte Flair celebrating her birthday. I just watched her docu series on A&E. Real good storytelling by A&E. Charlotte's not a legend, but she's considered more of an icon with icon status. Charlotte Flair paved the way for you know usher in the women's division, the women's evolution to today. So Charlotte Flair played a key role in it, and she's still doing it. She talked about her struggles, talked about her insecurities, and talked about everything. So we'll see Charlotte Flair down the road. Hearing reports that she dropped the title to Rhea Ripley to start bodybuilding. She took a long time out. I thought she was, pregnant at first. And I was like, oh, Charlotte wants to be a mom. But I guess that time hasn't come in yet. Charlotte Flair, paying her dues in wrestling. I mean that in now wrestling. Charlotte Flair making the contributions to what she's trying to do and where she's trying to go. Charlotte Flair talked about everything. Losing her brother, Reed. There's a lot going on. So good documentary by bigs up to A&E and WWE for producing her docu series. I think she still got more ways to go, but this is progress in the right direction for Charlotte Flair. You know what I mean? We also talked about this. All Out coming to London. All In. AEW wants to go to All In for London, and they wants to sell out that crowd. And how the way to sell it out is you sell the arena with all those stars you see right there. You got to wonder what's going to be the main event of All In. Who MJF going to defend that world title against? Got to be a big star. Got to be at least somebody that's big. I mean, big. But we had to wait and see on that. But these faces right here, a lot of people saying Jamie Hayter versus Paige could be a possibility for the women's title. If they do it right. We had to wait and see. Also, too, Ricochet. Ricochet said wrestling can be anything. Ricochet, wrestling is comedy, wrestling is hardcore. I mean, it's a variety show when you ask me. So, hell, he got a point. That, well, you're an idiot because wrestling can be anything you want it to be. He got a point. Wrestling can be drama. Wrestling can be action. Wrestling can be what you want to call it. A lot of people are putting the pieces together. I say that right now. Putting the pieces. Shinsuke P. We told you Shinsuke Nakamura was at the Hall of Fame last week. Expected to be back. So Shinsuke Nakamura coming back as well. So how that be? All right. We're gonna end the SmackDown Ring Report next week. We should know that the women's tag team titles are on the line next week. Becky Lynch and Lita defend the titles against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Raquel Rodriguez 6-0. So we'll see all that this week on Raw. We'll have recaps and highlights as well. Also, too, what went down? What's next for NXT champion Carmelo Hayes after he was ruthlessly attacked by Braun Breaker? What's next for Braun Breaker? We'll get down the NXT ring report. So look for that coming up your way. And also, too, for the AEW ring report next week. We're going to be looking at what's next, the aftermath after Fall All In. What's the reaction from the AEW stars, superstars, and personnel on this new adventure that Tony Khan has sent for next week coming up as well. So we'll see that next week. And then next Friday will be this. Xavier Woods taking on LA Knight one-on-one in a singles match. This started with a feud going forward. How this is going to come out next week on SmackDown next week. So we'll have this and more details and stuff. All right. We're going to leave you with this. The returning Matt Riddle making a statement again, coming back to SmackDown. I don't know what show he's going to be on, but he's coming to Raw this week to take on The Miz. I've been your host, Kendra Dick, saying so long, and thank you for watching The Pro Wrestling Show. See you later.